SHTF Rifles, Part 2. Hey everybody, I'm Michael with Asymmetrical Preparedness. In this video we're going to discuss the next tier down rifles and long arms for SHTF. For use in a variety of situations, we don't know what's coming our way, but we need to be ready for it, which means properly armed, be able to defend ourselves, our family, our tribe, our community. I get a lot of comments about the best SHTF rifle is the one you have. Well, not true. Now, if you have one and you train with it and you practice with it and that's all you got and that's all you can get and that's all you can afford, then yes, it is better to have something than nothing. But it's not the best. If you can save up and get yourself a better, more effective weapon system, then I highly encourage it. But everybody's not in the situation. So today we're going to talk about a lot more common, not that the AR-15 isn't common, but a lot more common firearms, long guns, that more Americans probably own than the higher tier stuff. And how effective they can be, show you some examples, and talk about them. First one I want to start off with is the good old bolt-action hunting rifle. This is a Remington 700, chambered in 300 Win Mag with a inexpensive Simmons scope. Got this from my father-in-law. It is an older rifle, but he's taken a lot of deer with this. This is just the standard good old boy hunting rifle. Now, can you be effective with this? Heck yeah, I could be very effective with this. Side note, if you guys noticed this, yeah, I was going out the door the other day and my puppy slammed the door on my pinky and I'm pretty sure it's broke, so I braced it, wrapped it, good to go. Just letting you know what this is. You can be effective with this weapon system, especially at a distance. Now, I'm not saying 300 Win Mag is the end all be all, but it's a good round. It has a lot of knockdown power. Yes, it's a bolt gun, so your rate of fire is a lot lower than, say, a semi-automatic rifle, but you can be very effective with it. You know, this is not camouflage. This is just what it is because, like I said, this has been in the family. I'm not going to mess with it. Just keep it as it is because it's like a family heirloom. But camo it up. Get yourself camoed up. Get some good hides, good overwatches, good locations to engage, good fields of fire. You can be very effective with this weapon system. Now, I'm not recommending something like this. Actually, most of these I wouldn't recommend for CQB or anything like that. They're not high speed, low drag. You're not gonna be running around the house, you know, clearing rooms with this, unless that's all you got. If these options here are all you got, I would go with a handgun, personally. I know handgun is a secondary weapon system, and I usually don't recommend that, other than carrying it on yourself, concealed, stuff like that. I'll do another video on handguns for SHTF, but right now we're talking about long guns. A rifle like this, a lot of people have them. You can be effective with it. Cost, I don't know how much these things cost nowadays. This one's old, so you can't just go down and buy one of these unless you go pawn shop or something like that. Very effective weapon system, very accurate. This rifle here, not a bull barrel, not, you know, chassis, not some high-end scope or something like that, but this rifle here, as it's set up, is capable of better accuracy than most people are capable of shooting themselves. In other words, this rifle has more capability than most people. So don't disregard this. Since we're talking bolt guns, second option here. This is a Remington 770. This is their budget line, so it's a lot less expensive than the 700. This is chambered in 30-06, which is also a very good cartridge. A little bit longer ranges, not as long as the 300 Win Mag, not as powerful as the 300 Win Mag, but good knockdown power, good range, good accuracy, a less expensive rifle, but still, like I said to the other one, this rifle is still probably capable of better accuracy than most people are. So don't disregard that. This is just an inexpensive scope on it. It's not, this is just a budget rifle. This is basically my 15-year-old son's hunting rifle. Camo it up, like you can see, nice rifle. And yes, you can be effective with this also. I do recommend, if you're going to be out there in an SHTF scenario using these kind of systems, to paint them, to camouflage them. be much more effective. You don't want to be running around without camouflage. All right, a lot of people say you need a shotgun. I'm not so keen on shotguns. They're very limited use, but they can be effective weapon systems. This is a Mossberg 835 Ultimag. So it's chambered in 2 3/4, 3 and 3.5 inch shells. Good shotgun. Now it has a longer barrel, it's ported right here, and it can take chokes. I'm not a shotgun aficionado, so I don't know that much about chokes. I know the basics. It does enable you to change your pattern, so that's good. And what's nice about this is I do have the rifled barrel with an optic on it that pops right in to shoot slugs. So that's a good option. This is factory camouflage. I did not paint this, but this is a good option. It's a little too long to run around for CQB and stuff like that. But if you're hunting, if you're defending your homestead or your property, this could be a viable option. A less expensive option to this is the Mossberg 500, which I also have one of. Those are very good shotguns also. And the best thing about shotguns is that. That is a recognizable sound that scares people away. That is a very effective deterrent. Shotguns can be a very effective system, and I believe everybody should probably have one. This is chambered in 12 gauge. That's my recommended round for shotguns. Moving on to another classic, the lever gun. This is a Marlin 336 CS chambered in 30-30. Good round. I have personally taken a lot of deer with this rifle. When I got it, it had an optic on the top. I took that off because it's just a brush gun. This is 100 to 150 yard gun, basically. The round is maybe a little bit more effective than a 7.62 by 39 fired from an AK-47. It is better accuracy though, and it is a decent option. A lot of people say that they would pick a lever gun next if they couldn't have a semi-auto. Now I do tend to agree with that because it's a little bit faster firing. You can fire, reload, fire, reload, fire, reload, fire. It's fairly quick, but limited round capacity. I love this gun, but if I had to, yeah, I'd throw some camoform tape on it or something like that. This wouldn't be a bad option if you're setting security somewhere and you need to send somebody out on the perimeter. Same with a bolt gun, not too bad. Now the shotguns I would prefer to keep closer up, like at the house, around the property, but a lever gun can be an effective option. This is 30-30, decent round, widely available, not too bad on recoil, and a good all-around firearm. Good for hunting, good for some defensive work. Like I said, if you need to set up a roadblock or send somebody out on your perimeter, not too bad of an option. Next option I want to talk about is another lever gun. This is a Marlin, the 1895S, chambered in 45-70. Now that's a big round. If you can see that barrel, yeah, that's a big round. That is moose, elk. You can use deer, maybe a little overkill for that. This has some knockdown power. This may want to employ on a vehicle barrier on a road because this has a lot of power. I don't know if it would do much damage to engine block, but it would go through a vehicle, that's for sure. This is a pretty decent option. This is also factory camouflage. It'll do the job. Fewer rounds and a lot more recoil than a 30-30. It's a decent option. If this is what you got, get good at it. Side note, whatever you have, train with it, use it, get as proficient as you possibly can with it. Maybe strive for better equipment, but be good on what you have first, because you never know if you're going to be able to get that. So take advantage of what you have, train with it, use it, stockpile ammo for it, anything else you need for it, spare parts, etc. Take good care of it. I would be remiss if I didn't add in the good old Ruger 10/22. It's a 22 semi-automatic. It comes with a box mag that fits up in here. I believe the factory one is a 10 round. You can get 25 round and bigger mags for them. I like the Ruger version of the mags. I believe it's a 25 round mag because they function. A lot of the other ones, I've had bad luck with. It is my redneck camouflaged, and it just has a little optic here. Semi-automatic, .22 long rifle. Small game, hunting, stuff like that, training, becoming proficient with firearms, learning how to use them. .22s are great. Great for kids to learn on also. And they have a limited use as anti-personnel weapon system, but if it's what you got, you can possibly use it in some situations. Maybe on guard duty. One thing that's nice is if you use standard velocity .22, which is subsonic, from a barrel like this, or even another kind of .22, the longer barrel, they're a lot quieter. I'm not saying they're quiet, but if you use that in conjunction with, if you have a suppressor for it, that'd be great if you choose to go that route. Get the barrel threaded, throw a suppressor on there, use subsonic ammunition. Very effective at being quiet. That would be a great option for small game hunting in an SHTF scenario. Low signature, way to get game. So this is a good option. Very good. I highly recommend everybody have one of these also. I love Ruger 10/22s. Awesome rifle, never had any issues with it. They work, they are what they are. Last, but definitely not least, is the FAL. This is a DS Arms SA58, an American-made FAL. It's not an FN FAL, it is an American-made FAL. 18-inch barrel. You can get them with longer barrels or shorter barrels. I like 18 because it's not too long, it's a little more compact, and 18 inches is the bare minimum barrel length that you need for a 308 or 7.62x51 to achieve full burn. Troy padded sling, 2-point sling. Everything else is stock on this rifle with the exception of the trigger. It has a jarred trigger in it. So that's one thing I highly recommend if you have an FAL. Two things I would upgrade is the trigger. The stock triggers, the factory triggers are horrible. The grips are horrible. Put on an ergo grip or another option. I don't know what else there is out there. There's probably other options out there. An ergo grip and a better trigger. And an optic if you want. This railed top cover is a great option also. But it is a 308 main battle rifle. Actually it's 7.62x51, but you know, 308 sort of similar. And this, because it's all American made and it's new, is fully capable of firing 308 rounds. 20 round box mag. They do make 25 round, I believe, and 30 round mags for it. But you get that much, this is already a heavy weapon system. You get that many rounds on it, it's a lot heavier. This would be a great weapon system to employ in the main battle rifle category. Perimeter defense, designated marksman stuff. It's not a precision rifle by any stretch of the imagination. But if you're within 500 yards or less, highly accurate, highly effective weapon system. Like I said, perimeter defense, barrier defense, like a roadblock, long range patrolling, or use within a squad fulfilling the main battle rifle category, the light suppression weapon system capability, meaning like a squad automatic weapon type thing, but not because it's not automatic and etc. But it's a good option to have within your team. This is a lot different than the other options I talked about. This is a military style weapon. Now it's not military, it's not full auto, it's not an assault rifle. I hate that term. It is a main battle rifle. It is heavier, it is longer, it doesn't have the mag capacity, it has more recoil, but main battle rifles are awesome. I love FALs. They work very well, and it is a very good option if you choose to get a main battle rifle. AR-10s are also very good options. HK91s/PTR91s are also a good option. M1As are also a decent option, as well as a lot of other rifles out there. But I prefer the FAL. I love the FAL. This is a great weapon system. Highly recommend it. Much more effective than any other weapon systems I talk about today. If you're looking for a good main battle rifle, check out the DS Arms SA58. Great option. So with all that said, I've shown you different options, from shotguns to .22s to lever guns to bolt guns to a semi-auto. If you have a long gun and it's all you got, work with it. Get good at it, train with it. Just to reiterate, if you're looking for a better more effective weapon system, then good on you. It's always best to have the most effective weapon system that you can possibly get. If you can't get anything else, you might be able to make these work in a lot of situations. Not the best option, but an option. I love you guys. Have a wonderful day, and blessings to you and yours.